Hey, what is up guys? Calum or Calum's Fish Tanks, and today we've got a package from Aquascape Canada. Now you've read the title of this video, so you already know what's in here, so let's jump right into this and get this thing opened up. So like I mentioned, this package came from Aquascape Canada. I've ordered a ton of plants from them in the past, and they always show up in excellent condition, so it was no-brainer to order from them again. This doesn't have any plants in them, but what it does have is a lot of dry goods. And one great thing about Aquascape Canada is they offer flat rate shipping, and the more you order, the more you save. And I got this package shipped to me completely for free, which is a great plus. So with every order, they give a little pamphlet. This is a great tool for beginners. It talks about what to do if your plants don't show up alive, which I've never had happen, as well as it gives you a guide on what to do and how to care for your new plants. I think this is super useful, especially for beginners, as well as it has a point system they have that allows you to save money. Talks a little bit about the owner's journey as well. I got the chance to meet Leo, the owner, at an aquascaping contest they held in September, which was a huge success. They held it alongside ADA Canada, had a ton of showing, and made some beautiful tanks at the Aquatic Expo. If you didn't have the chance to go, I definitely recommend going next year. But anyways, let's get into this box. So we ordered a couple different things here, and I'm gonna start with the less exciting stuff. So first off, we got this jungle soil from Dooa. This is meant to work great in terrariums, basically, which is what we may be setting up today. And then we also have the jungle base. This is a porous layer that will kind of work as a drainage layer, but will also produce and provide different nutrients. If you've ever heard of ADA Power Sand, this is the terrarium version of it. It looks great. It's covered in some kind of powder or something. It's probably activated charcoal, that kind of stuff, as well as a couple other things that help provide the perfect environment for a bunch of natural bacteria to form to keep your terrarium smelling good and growing well. It's always a little scary when you order glass products, but this came packed with tons of bubble wrap that kept it safe, or hopefully kept it safe. I'm sure it kept it safe. But let's talk about the star of the show, which is this guy right here, the Dooa cell. I'll get that open in a minute. We also got the G Slim magnetic light. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. The G Slim magnetic light. So this is a little light. I don't know much about it, but I know it is magnetic, and yeah, we'll talk a little bit about this. We're gonna open up both these products, the lights and the cell, and take a look at them. Okay, so let's start by cracking open this Dooa cell. There's 3 different colors of these, and I chose to get the clear one. The interesting thing is they're kind of like an all-in-one terrarium system. It comes with a built-in drainage layer, which you can see here, that fits into the base of the pot. So basically, the bottom of this looks like this. This is your drainage layer that you can remove and clear it out. So this is where you put all your soil in, and then it will drain down into here, which you can remove, and it basically keeps the tank a lot healthier and will prevent things like root rot from happening with your terrarium plants. So one of the great things about this product is it comes with enough soil to fill up the base. It comes with 2 different kinds. So the first thing is a little bag of pumice that you're gonna put down first. This will work to create a little drainage layer. And then the second thing is this tropical river soil, which is a little bit different than the jungle soil I got earlier. The difference is the jungle soil is a black soil. There's a lot more nutrients. It'll buffer the water more. This is meant more for paludariums, low nutrients, but it should work great for the purpose of what we're doing in this tank. It's a natural soil, and it has a more reddish color to it compared to the jungle soil, which is almost a black. And then finally, the last piece is the lid. One thing you may notice is there's little holes along the side. This helps improve aeration and keeps humidity from building up too much so you don't get a bunch of mold. But anyways, let's set this thing up. And I'm also gonna go grab some gloves so I don't leave fingerprints all over it. Okay, so we've got our gloves on, and I mentioned there was different colors, and basically this here is the part that will change colors. So to start off, I'm going to add in that little drainage layer. And this will just help prevent too much moisture from building up. And then we're going to add in the river soil. So I've got a little bit left in there that I guess I'll save for something else. Maybe I'll wet this a little just to, actually no, I probably won't. So for the scape, I wanted to eventually have some dwarf orchids in here, but I don't have them yet. But the plan is to have a piece of wood stand up in the center like this, and then I'm going to add these kumu stones. These are ADA layout materials that are meant for these small tanks. These are lichen stones, and they are hand selected, and you pick out small ones that have lots of texture. Very pretty stones. So this little product here I'm going to use in the cell. But let's open this up and take a closer look at these. So here is a closer look at some of those stones. Tons of texture, nice little tiny pieces, which is hard to find. Now I went a little crazy for the Kumu products. This one here is river sand, which has all these nice naturally shaped rocks. This is the small grain size. And I use this in my Hillstream Loge tank in my most recent video. So you can see that there. And I also got this beautiful sand. It's just got a great grain size to it. And this is the ivory sand. So I'm going to use this in another small project I have coming up soon, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So the scape for this, I'm going to keep relatively simple. I'm going to use a couple of these lichen stones just to add a bit more texture and hopefully stabilize this piece of wood a bit. So I'm not going to glue it down or anything, but I think they look pretty good together. Now I'm just going to wet the soil a little bit, and we're going to get planting this. So before I mess around anymore, I'm just going to double check that the lid fits. Perfect. That looks pretty. Okay. So now I'm going to go around and plant a little tissue culture of glossostigma. I've had this for a little while, so it is yellowing a bit, but I'm gonna go plant this around, and this should cover up the foreground. So this next part is going to be a little bit of a mess. I want to find where this tank, or this piece of wood I guess, naturally wants to have plants, where soil would collect and where plants would collect. And to do that, I'm just going to take a little bit of my jungle soil, or tropical river soil, and dump it over the wood and see where it sticks. And right now it's not really sticking anywhere. Maybe I should wet it a bit. Because yeah, right now I'm just making a mess of my house. You know what, that's not bad. So I'm just going to wet these areas. And for now, this is going to hold some moss. Eventually, it will hold some orchids, but we'll see how long that will take because they haven't even shipped yet and I ordered them a week and a half ago. So now I have some Riccardia camdrifolia that I've ripped up into tiny little pieces that I'm going to put alongside the wood. This will help hold moisture and it'll just look good. It's a nice looking plant. It's a nice little light dark green, I guess. And I'm going to put a lot. Oops. So now we have Ricardia planted all the way around in a bunch of the nooks and crannies, a little bit on the rocks as well, and this will hopefully grow out, and it will grow a little bit different and a little bit bigger, immersed, because this is submerged stuff. But let's go get this Dooa in its final position and open up the light as well. Actually, I've decided I want to add a couple of little Bucephalandras. These are great immersed plants. This one specifically has some really cool looking leaves. I'm not pushing them in too hard. They'll find their spot and find where they want to be on their own and attach to the wood. And then one back in that. So here we have the magnetic G Slim light attached. The top of this is magnetic and it looks pretty dim right now, but I have it on the lowest setting. It has 6 different brightness settings, with that being the brightest, which should be more than enough to grow most aquatic plants, especially in a terrestrial system like this. So a couple things on that magnetic G Slim light. Number 1, magnetic, so you can stick it to the top of a stand or something if there's a magnet. And number 2, it's pretty powerful for that little tiny lights. It's 9 watts and produces very nice color, makes the greens really pop. Awesome little light. It comes with little silicone rubber padding that you put along the bottom, and this will prevent it from sitting flat on something and heating it up. I have them set up on the Dooa cell so I can put it on top of there without it sitting perfectly flat. One thing that you should note about this is it is a USB plug at the end of it, so if you plan to plug it into a timer or something, you will need some sort of adapter. I had one laying around and just set that up, but something to be careful for if you don't have one ready. So before we finish up, I want to give one more thanks to Aquascape Room, who also threw in this awesome little sticker that you'll get with every order as well. I got a little Bucephalandra, super pretty, one of my favorite plants as well. But they have amazing plants, and I definitely recommend them if you're in Canada and looking for plants. Right to your door, shipping discounts, flat rate, and I've never had a problem with them. Always had amazing plants, and I want to thank them so much for helping out with this video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys want to see updates on the Dooa cell, I don't know how often I'll be posting them on here. Maybe I'll show one eventually, but if you want to be keeping up with it, I'd recommend checking me out on Instagram, where I'll definitely give some updates when those new dwarf orchids come in, which are going to be the star of the show of that tank. But anyways, guys, this was Calum's